my art and knowledge loving peeps. Today I am bringing you a video which is all about museums and galleries that you might not know about. A lot of these are just like slap bang in the city center, super convenient, free to visit, and I just didn't know they existed. And after visiting them, I learned from the people who run them that most people truly do not know of their existence. So this video is going to help you and help them, and I can pat myself on the back that I did something nice for local museums and galleries that some of you might just not know about. We're going to be visiting 7 of them. Basically all of them are in the city center. 95% of them, that's a weird math, 90% of them ish is absolutely free. One of them is free under certain circumstances. So if maybe you're here on a day like this when it's kind of on-off rainy and you're looking for a place to hide from the weather, or perhaps you just need to stay somewhere warm for a little bit, or maybe you just need to use the bathroom, these are great places to visit and scratch that intellectual or art-loving itch. We are starting here in the Meadows, where you will find Scotland's tiniest gallery, which is just behind me. It's called the Bird's Nest Gallery, and it's open between Thursdays and Sundays. I think that Thursday and Friday it's kind of like in the afternoon, and then on Saturday and Sunday it's a bit of a longer time period during the day. Cute place to visit if you're just around. It's super photogenic. It will be stellar on your Instagram feed. So yeah, let's start there, and then we're gonna move on to Old Town. As you can see, the grey weather persists, therefore we moved towards the city centre. We are now in Old Town, and we have a whole bunch more free secret galleries and museums for you to have a look at. You probably know that this is an area that has a plenty of much more well-known galleries and museums. There's the National Museum of Scotland. You have all of the free museums on Royal Mile, like the Edinburgh Museum. You have the Museum of Childhood. I think there's like the People's Museum. There's a whole lot to explore, so you can start with those wonderful places. But if you've already seen these, if you're here for your second, third, fourth time, or if you live here, here are 3 tips for some lesser known spots. First of them being St. Cecilia's Hall. This is Edinburgh University's music museum. They have so many wonderful, beautiful historical musical instruments, like things that I've never seen in my life, maybe beyond like period drama. So if you're into music or into history, this is the place to go. It's very quiet. I guarantee most people do not know it's there. It's just between Cowgate and Royal Mile, so super convenient if you're in that area, even if perhaps you're visiting Edinburgh for just one day. Further up Royal Mile, you're gonna run into Coburn Street. I love Coburn Street because, apart from the fun name, which people tend to mispronounce, it also has a shop called Pie in the Sky where you can buy some of my pins. Self-promo. You can also buy my pins in my Etsy store. Link in the doobly-doo. But there is a little photo gallery there. It's called Stills, and I think that a lot of us have walked around it many times before, dozens of times, and yet somehow we never really go in. And I implore you, please do pop in. It is a quiet space where, again, you will almost never meet another person, which can be a nice thing when, you know, it's busy outside in the touristy Edinburgh. And you'll get a chance to learn about contemporary photography that you would have otherwise missed out on. Just a minute or two away from Stills is the Fruit Market Gallery. And again, this is a place that you probably noticed. It's just next to the train station, so perhaps if you're at the train station a bit too early, this is a great place to pop in, because this is like a reverse TARDIS. It is smaller on the inside than what it looks like from the outside. It has a good coffee shop, and also it has a great art shop. So if you have an artsy friend and you want to get them a souvenir that's not, you know, like a magnet with a bum in a kilt, but you want to get them actually like an artsy piece of like stationery or something like that, or like an alternative art magazine, they do have a great museum shop there, gallery shop, and they also always have like a free exhibition going on, which, you know, will take you perhaps 10-15 minutes to peruse, and I think it's a great way of spending some time there before your train comes. Okay, we made it to Newtown, and right now we are on Charlotte Square, where we're gonna explore one of the hidden museums in this area, which is the Georgian House. This belongs under the National Trust of Scotland, just like Gladstone's Land, but Gladstone's Land is a lot more popular because it's right on Royal Mile. This is in Newtown, and I feel like it's kind of hidden away. I, for the longest time, didn't even know about it. I had to get my National Trust membership to actually learn that this exists here, and with your National Trust membership, you can actually come here for free. Otherwise, I think it costs about £10. But if you're curious what the Georgian House is all about, let's go have a look. The Georgian House is one of those amazing properties that were revived to give you a glimpse into how life was in the past. Here, more specifically, in the 18th century Newtown, which by then was pretty freshly built. This particular townhouse was the home of John Lamont and his family. John Lamont was the 18th chief of Clan Lamont, but decided to move down to Edinburgh to experience the big city lifestyle. Even though you're gonna learn from the great volunteers here that his budget was somewhat stretched beyond his means by this decision. The second tiny secret museum is one which, even if you know about it, even if you know where you're going, you looked it up on the map, you feel like you are ready, you will probably walk into the wrong door at least once, which is the Physicians Gallery. It is on Queen Street and it is a part of kind of like a complex or like a whole block of buildings that all belong under that umbrella, and only one of them is this tiny free gallery which every couple of months has a free exhibition on something relating to anatomy or human body. And you probably by now know that the medical history is one that has shaped Edinburgh quite heavily. So I do think that if you're perhaps on your way from here, you know, the sort of west end of Newtown, on your way to the Portrait Gallery, then why not stop by there? Just do it. Just have a look at some anatomical, slightly gross stuff. The entrance to this hidden gallery is one door to the right from the more ornamental Royal College of Physicians entrance. The place itself is really tiny, but if medicine or its history is one of your interests, you don't want to miss out on this. Now, some of the keen mathematicians among you will say, "Kat, that has only been 6 museums and galleries, and you told us there would be 7 down in the title." Well, don't fret, I do have one up my sleeve, which is the Edinburgh Library of Mistakes. I unfortunately didn't make it in there to take some footage of it, but I'm gonna show you some pictures. This is a place that is very niche when it comes to people's interests. I think it used to be a part of the wider Edinburgh Library, and now it has its own space in Newtown. You can visit, but first you have to register to be like a registered library reader, so perhaps it's not for you if you're just visiting for a short time. However, if you're into economics or finance, this is a place to learn, and I just thought that the name was super interesting and quirky, and it's just such a unique place to visit. So yeah, Library of Mistakes, relatively newly opened in Newtown. Don't forget it exists if you're into money. Now that takes me to the true end of this video. Before I go, I'm just gonna quickly mention some other galleries that you might want to visit, which you probably know about, but just in case. Just across the road from the Fruit Market Gallery is the City Art Centre, which is much larger than Fruit Market. It's also free. Up on top of Calton Hill is The Collective, which kind of resides in those multiple little buildings around the observatory. And then there is also the National Library on George IV Bridge, which usually has an exhibition going on also. I think right now it's about pen names. Now I am really done with this list. Hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you learned something new. I am absolutely certain that there must have been at least one of these that you've never even thought about, that you didn't know anything about. And before I say my final goodbye, don't forget you can also visit me on Instagram under KakiBot or KakiBlog for my artwork or my pictures of Edinburgh and kind of my general life here. Okay, that is truly it from me. Hope you loved this video and I shall see you soon.